Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Friday, the 5th day of April. It is Accelerate ACL Awareness Among Young Women Day, which is pretty specific.
Okay.
Bell Bottoms Day. Did you ever have bell bottoms when you were a kid?
No.
I'm pretty sure I did.
No,
I don't
you
know.
didn't. You never had bell bottoms.
Maybe mine were just boot cut, but they sure seemed
Yeah,
like
they
bell
were
bottoms.
boot cut.
Gold Star Spouses Day today, International Day of Conscience. It's National Body Care Day, National Caramel Day, or Caramel. How do you say it? I think I
Both
asked
ways.
you.
It depends on who I'm talking to or what I'm talking about.
How it looks. I'm like, ooh, that caramel looks delicious. Deep Dish Pizza Day today, Flash Drive Day today, National Self-Care Day, and Star Trek First Contact Day. Oh, it's Peeps Day as well, which you would have thought would have been, like a week ago. But,
No, because you got to wait till they're hard.
Yeah, Heidi cuts the Peeps open, lets them dry out and get all gross and shriveled up, and then she's like, ooh, Peeps time.
Now it's Peeps time.
You're weird. I have a guest today, Steve Barry, one of the best-selling authors on the planet, and I'm excited to chat with him about his latest book. Came out about a month ago. It's called The Atlas Maneuver. We're going to chat all about that coming up.
Whether you have a credit card now and need a better credit card, or if you don't even have a credit card but you'd like to get a good one, we would love to help at BetterCreditCards.com. We offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we can help you find a good fit for you at BetterCreditCards.com.
Give yourself a little credit
At BetterCreditCards.com.
to BetterCreditCards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. It's too late for me and probably for you to do anything about it, but it's good encouragement maybe to make sure your kids get a lot of exercise. Researchers in Sweden have determined that having an active childhood could save your life like 40 years later. A team from a university, which name I won't even try to say, investigated how fit middle-aged men were back when they were kids, and there's a connection big time to their heart health in their middle ages.
Oh, I'm sure.
And sure enough, delving into the health data, over the 9,000 people involved since the 1970s, they found that men who were in shape as adolescents showed a much lower risk of arteriosclerosis close to 40 years later. Artheo, whatever that is a thickening of arteries, usually due to the buildup of plaque. Not a good thing, obviously. The researchers say that their study shows physical fitness linked to health outcomes later in life is a good thing. The findings are worrying, though, because there's a trend that a lot of younger people are not as fit today as they were in the 70s and 80s, because they're more lethargic, watching TV and playing games rather than out doing,
being outside playing and
the stuff we were
running
doing.
Yep, exactly.
Being hooligans and whatnot. All right, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
So how do you like these gas prices? Not great, huh? How would you like to save money every time you get gas? I've been using this app for a few years and it's amazing. You can find out more at radiosavings.com. When I first heard about it, I didn't think we'd have this in our area, but they seem to have stuff all over the place. You can sign up for free and try it for yourself. They have savings on gas, but on many other things too, like restaurants and convenience stores. Try it for free at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by Genesis Gold, IRA.com. Heidi, did you know of all of the tasks or chores that we must look after as part of our routine, which one do you think the average person dislikes the most? There's a total of 5 times each week we got to do this, but what do you think they dislike?
Oh, geez, I have no
Brushing
idea.
our teeth. First of all, you only brush your teeth
5 times a week?
Ew. Now I'll continue. A survey of 2,000 adults in the U.S. found that it's not only toothbrushing that is being forgotten. It seems that we tend to skip using floss and mouthwash about 4 days every week. Despite the fact that we tend to forget sometimes, 92% of the survey respondents agreed that their oral care routine is important to their overall health. The survey, conducted by OnePoll, found that a few unusual ways that they've witnessed people caring for their teeth. Some was using a washcloth to clean their teeth instead of a toothbrush.
Oh, okay.
And the other was using...
I mean, if you lost your toothbrush and you had no choice, I could see that.
The other was using fishing line to floss your teeth. I'm out fishing. I'm like, well, I got some time. I floss twice a year, whether I need to or not. It's always at the dentist's office. No, I actually floss way more than that. I love those little floss sticks.
Yeah,
those are
I know.
cool. That's like the best thing ever. But I had a dentist tell me, no, they're not. They're not good. All right. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by RadioSavings.com. Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney shut down reports that she'll star in an upcoming supernatural thriller opposite Johnny Depp. The story originated from a film critic who said that they thought this was going to happen. Anyway, she's going, no, they're wrong. Film critics wrong? Never. Are you serious? Never. And Courtney Cox may be heading back to the Scream franchise. Sources say
I think she almost has to.
Yeah, they say she's in talks to reprise her role as Gail Weathers in the 7th movie of the series, directed by Scream creator Kevin Williamson. This news comes about 2 weeks after Neve Campbell announced that she is going to be back as Sidney Prescott. So, I think that's kind of cool that those, because there are people who are big fans of that series or it's not series. What do you call it? That
trilogy, not trilogy, because it's more than 3 now.
I don't know.
I don't know what you would call it.
That
franchise.
There we go. That's the word. Oh, my brain hurts from thinking so hard. And Heidi still had to tell me the answer. Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by RadioSavings.com.
Do you have a mobile phone? How much do you pay every month? If that number is more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. A report says that men today are 3 times more likely to cry in public than their fathers were. What do you think? You think that seems accurate?
I think that's absolutely
accurate. Why are you
accurate.
pointing at me and laughing? I cried at a heating and cooling commercial, so yeah.
And it's gotten way worse since it's gotten
here's the thing.
so much worse. With
It's okay to
young
cry.
people.
It just,
it is okay to cry, but I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, just not at things like a heating and cooling commercial. I was like, this is the best commercial ever. And my wife was like, you going to be okay? You going to make it? You're embarrassing yourself in front of the children. A medical team is expressing concern that some temporary henna tattoos can leave permanent scars. So apparently whatever they're using in the henna is a bit more harsh than they thought. And you know how it is. When you're on a packed flight and you're constantly fighting for elbow room with the person next to you, you can't stretch out. You don't have room for your device or your book or your food or whatever. You want to just scream, right? Elbow room problem is a thing for everybody. But you might be interested in a new low-cost American carrier, Frontier Airlines. They're introducing a new seat option that guarantees an empty seat in the middle if you're a window or aisle seat. This, of course, results in some much appreciated personal space. Plus, there's a little extra leg room for added comfort. This seat option is called Upfront Plus. It only applies to the first 2 rows of the plane, which means you'd be among the first to be able to get off the plane as well. What is the cost for this luxurious upgrade? How much do you think they're charging?
I have no idea, but I'd love
extra.
to hear it.
Guess the number.
I don't know, $150.
No, only $49. But it is Frontier Airlines, and they've left us stranded twice. So
Yeah, so just beware.
it's only $49, and we got a refund. But they left me in a different town. I don't know. Your results may vary. All right, scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit with Steve Barry. He is not just a New York Times best-selling author. He's an international best-selling author. 21 novels translated into 41 languages, over 25 million copies. Steve, I'm reading here that every 30 seconds, one of your novels is sold. That's just amazing, isn't it?
It is. You have to pinch yourself. When they told me that, I went like, "Huh, really?" Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah.
So just during our interview, you're going to sell like 6 books at least. So that's pretty cool.
It's always nice. I mean, when you're in 50 countries around the world, though, you get a little exposure. So I can understand how that might happen.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to talk about the new book, The Atlas Maneuver, but let's talk a little bit about before you even got started, when you had the ideas for books and you were starting to do this. What was that process like? And could you ever have imagined back then how well you would have done? Because you've done very, very well.
Well, from the day I wrote my first word to the day I sold my first word was 12 years. And I had 85 rejections over 5 different manuscripts. So I had a very long process to get published. And during that 12 years, I was teaching myself the craft of writing. So I also taught myself how to write a book a year then. Now, I wanted to be a commercial fiction writer. I wanted a New York house to pay me money to write books for them. So, I wanted that, but it just wasn't working out. Then finally one day in 2002, I caught a break, and The Amber Room got bought and was published in 2003. And so, I've been doing it ever since now. I'm 24 novels in now, and you plan. It's kind of like I say all the time, like a golfer who lines up a putt and hits it and it goes in the hole and he gets very excited. You might say, well, why does he get excited? Because it was supposed to go in the hole, but it doesn't always go in the hole. So when it does, you go like, wow. And that was for me. That was the same way that happened for me. It was supposed to happen, but never did. And then one day it did, and it was quite exciting.
A 12-year overnight success, but it's because you didn't take no for an answer. You didn't let that first rejection letter make you go, I guess I'm not a writer. No, you've been a writer all along. They just didn't realize it, but now they certainly do. And this newest book, The Atlas Maneuver, let's talk about this book.
Yeah, this is a cool story. It's the 18th Cotton Malone. Don't be put off by that. You don't have to read the first 17. You can pick my books up in any sequence or order you want, so this is a good one to start with. And Cotton gets caught up with Yamashita's gold from World War II, which is an actual treasure, which was hidden across the Philippines in 1945, and then come forward to modern day and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something I didn't know a whole lot about, but I wanted to know more about, and so the reader's going to get a full understanding of how Bitcoin works. And then I took this treasure and Bitcoin, and I put them together to create the Atlas Maneuver, where Cotton gets caught up in a war between the world's oldest bank and the CIA, and a woman from his past, a woman who he thought he would never see again, and some regrets that he thought he had put to bed a long time ago, which come back now to haunt him.
Now, a lot of the stuff that you write about, there are so many details. And when you're doing that, how much research do you have to do to get these right? Because when you're doing it, if you get it wrong, they're going to call you out on it. You got to get this right. More often than not, you get it right. So how much research goes into making sure that you get it right?
300 to 400 books for every novel. This one was no exception of that. And I don't read 300 to 400 books, but I certainly do read large chunks of them. And I make notes that are about 8 or 9 inches tall, and I'm only going to use a small fraction of those in the novel, but I have to get everything down that I'm looking for. So my niche is I try to keep it 90% to reality, as close as I can. I have to trip it up that 10% because I'm here to entertain you, but I put a writer's note in the back of the book that will tell you where I tripped up and where it's true and what's false. So I kind of you don't leave the book with any misconceptions to it. So that's sort of the thing. The reader's going to get, if you like history, you enjoy history, you're going to love my novels because, as I said, I keep it as close as I can to reality.
And history matters, and I agree with that, but that's also the name of a nonprofit that was founded by your wife. Let's talk a little bit about that because I love this.
Yeah, we created it 15 years ago to help local communities raise money. And we've done about 90 projects around the country, and we do it by going in and teaching a writer's workshop, which you buy your way in with a contribution. We'll do a dinner, a gala, luncheons. You buy your way into all of those, and all the money that comes in goes to the project. We don't charge to come. We don't charge expenses. We pay our own way to come. And we've done very well with those 90 projects around the country. And if anybody out there might have one, a historical society, a local government, they can go to my website, steveberry.org, and click on History Matters. Send me an email, and we'll see if we can come help you.
That is amazing. Steve, thank you not only for the books, but for all that you do, and thank you for your time today as well.
Thanks for having me.
Again, Steve Berry, the newest book, The Atlas Maneuver. It's out right now. I've got a link to it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Whether you have a credit card now and need a better credit card, or if you don't even have a credit card but you'd like to get a good one, we would love to help at bettercreditcards.com. We offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we can help you find a good fit for you at bettercreditcards.com.
Give yourself a little credit
At bettercreditcards.com.
bettercreditcards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There are more possible arrangements in shuffling a deck of cards than there are stars in the sky. That is because there's 52 cards and there's 52 different cards, variables, and you have all these different things. So there's a lot of different ways you can shuffle a deck of cards. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Adult cats are very rarely meowing at other cats. So if they're meowing, it's at something other than another cat.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The verb unfriend first appeared in 1659.
I think we've talked about that.
Yeah, we think of that as like, a
and
social
I was
media
like,
thing.
that doesn't seem right. But
The word dude, I'm sorry. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
what's that, John?
I forgot how I do this. The word dude originated in the 1800s, and it was an insult to men who were overly concerned with the latest fashion trends. Yeah, some dude wearing the fancy stuff. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The word bi-weekly is quite confusing. It's either every 2 weeks or twice a
Yes,
week. It
it is
depends on how you're
confusing.
using it.
Yep.
So, very confusing. Several fun facts. Now, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
So how do you like these gas prices? Not great, huh? How would you like to save money every time you get gas? I've been using this app for a few years and it's amazing. You can find out more at radiosavings.com. When I first heard about it, I didn't think we'd have this in our area, but they seem to have stuff all over the place. You can sign up for free and try it for yourself. They have savings on gas, but on many other things too, like restaurants and convenience stores. Try it for free at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com. A survey found, question for you, Heidi. A survey found that for 10% of people who have been fired, it was because of this. What was it? 10%?
Online news?
10% of people were fired for this.
What?
Accidentally sending an inappropriate joke or photo to their boss. 10% of people?
Oh, you would
Are
think that'd be
fired?
way higher than
No,
that.
I would think it'd be way lower. You seriously thought I would have been higher than 10%? Heidi's like, hey, check this out. What's that? You need to see me in your office? Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Do you have a mobile phone? How much do you pay every month? If that number is more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. DoorDash has announced that they're going to be testing a new method of fast food delivery in a partnership with Alphabet's Wing Drone Delivery Company. So if you're lucky enough, I'm using air quotes,
You're
lucky
gonna
enough.
drop off your food with a drone.
If you live near a Wendy's on Franklin Street in Christiansburg, Virginia, you could be able to have your square beef burgers delivered by drone. According to DoorDash, the drone delivery area covers homes mostly within 2.5 miles of the restaurant. Drone delivery requires a roughly 2-meter in diameter clearing, such as a driveway that is not blocked by trees, buildings, or other protrusive objects. Delivery should arrive within 10 to 20 minutes after ordering, carried by drones that travel around 65 miles per hour.
And who do they reimburse you if a dog runs off with your food when they drop it?
I don't have an answer for any of this.
Wow.
All I know is I had to look first and say, did this come out on April 1st? Is this? Oh, it is real. Okay, this is real. This is not a joke. This time of year, you never know. There's several things that get shared to me, and I'm like, no, guys, look, April 1st. That was a joke.
Wow.
All right. Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Almost NBA team names. These are all names that almost were the name of a team that they ended up going with a different name. But Orlando Juice. Yeah, in 1987, when they were working
they
on.
have orange juice.
Yeah, but they ended up going with Magic. But their Juice was real close to being the name.
Huh.
So, and then Chicago Matadors. So instead of the Bulls, they almost became Matadors.
Okay.
New Orleans Rougarou. Rougarou. They ended up with the Hornets instead.
That's weird. Yeah, that was a good choice.
The Rougarous. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. The Oklahoma City Wind. Yeah. The Wind was rejected. They went with Thunder. Oklahoma City Wind. And I think this is probably my favorite, and I kind of wish they would have done this. The Miami Vice. Yeah. Wouldn't that have been a cool
I
name?
do kind of like that.
Yeah, they went with the Miami Heat, I believe. I'm not a sports guy, so I could be wrong on all the names that I think they went with. I just think I think I know stuff. If I'm wrong, it's me. It's not in the story. The list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com. This is kind of a fun quote here from Jean Webster. She says, she never lets ideas interrupt the easy flow of her conversation. You ever have that happen where you're talking to somebody, you're like, do you even know what you're talking about? Why are you looking at me? I think Heidi's accusing me of this. Quote of the day from Jean Webster comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And I think this is a really cool story. Like there's stories on here all the time. There's so many good stories, but this one I just think is a wonderful story. From New Jersey. New Jersey firefighters save a dog who was trapped in a tire. Did you see this online?
No.
So
In a tire. Holy
yeah,
cow.
like a tire was, he put his head through the hole in the middle of the wheel.
Oh.
But it wasn't just the tire, it was the tire and the wheel and everything. Anyway, I'll explain what happened here. Heartwarming display of community spirit and swift action. The Frankville Volunteer Fire Company came to the rescue of a beloved furry resident, Daisy the dog, who found herself in a tight spot, quite literally. The saga began when Daisy, a cherished member of the Franklinville community, managed to get her head wedged inside the rim of a tire at her home. The lieutenant told the people that did the story here, they tried to use dish soap and water to free the dog, but that didn't work. They tried vegetable oil. That didn't work. Plastic wrap around her neck, hoping the oil would soak in and make it really slippery. That didn't work.
Oh.
Everything else failed. They said, okay, well, let's get the plasma cutter. And they used that to cut the metal. And I bet this dog was freaking
I bet she
out.
was terrified.
The crew carefully loaded Daisy onto a fire truck, set off for a garage. They skillfully and successfully extracted the tire, freeing Daisy from her confinement. And you can see
poor
the dog with
baby.
his head, with her head rather, stuck in this hole. It's like the little, you know where the lug nuts are?
Mm-hmm.
There's a hole in the center, and the dog's head was stuck in that hole.
My gosh.
And they couldn't, somehow the dog got his head in there, her head in there. They couldn't get the dog's head back out. But they had to literally cut this hub
Poor
to get the dogs.
thing.
Yeah, it's very scary. And the dog, in every photo that I see of the dog looks very sad. Like, what did I do? What was
do
I
that again.
thinking? All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.